4.0 is out and it's time to update my beginner salvage guide. In this guide, I'll teach you exactly how to salvage and where to salvage. But first, we need to upgrade our Vulture here. You can also do this for the Misfortune, which is the new salvage ship. But I like the Vulture way more than the Misfortune, so this is the ship that I will be using. First off, we're going to start off at the station here, NPC Stream Station. If I open up my map and zoom out all the way, you're going to see here, right next to Crusader, you can find NPC Stream Station. This is where we're going to buy our salvage head. Let me quickly show you where. To buy the salvage head, you want to go to the spaceport, then head over to the orange elevators. And once there, you want to take the Galleria, and then eventually you'll find Platinum Bay, where you can use the terminal to buy your upgrade module. You just need one, either for the Vulture or for the Misfortune. Just buy one. Once you have it, you can equip it to your ship. Customize your ship. You just open up your Moby class by hitting F1, going to vehicles, selecting your Drake Vulture, going to utility here, and then here at the sub slot, you want to select the upgrade scraper module, just equip it and hit save. Now we're all good to go salvage. But before we get into that, this video is sponsored by Beam Eye Tracker. Beam Eye Tracker turns your regular webcam into a head and eye tracker for just $30. You can make Star Citizen way more immersive. For example, I've got my webcam connected here. It's C920. It records at 30 FPS. If I look straight forward and then I look to my left, it will follow my eyes. And I can also look to my right, up, and down. And you can bind this with your head movement as well. This is basically what the software does. It turns your webcam into an head and eye tracker. If you want to upgrade your setup, check out Beam Eye Tracker. Buying from their website will help support the channel, so I really appreciate it. Links in the description. Now let's get back to the video. We're inside our Vulture now. We're quickly gonna ride to an area where we can salvage. This area is an asteroid belt where nobody will find us, so no need for stealth components or hiding. Most likely you won't be found there since it's so difficult. You're just going to open up your map here. We're going to zoom out all the way, and here on our left, just at the top, you can see Arc L3. We're going to route ourselves there. Then we're going to spool our quantum drive, and once it hits 11 GM, we're going to cut our engines so that we end up in the asteroid belt. We're at about 12 GM now. Almost 11. There we go. Now we can just hit U to cut our engines. You can see we're in the asteroid belt. I'm just going to Alt R to turn on all the power. Now that we have made it to the asteroid belt, we need to enter our scanning mode. We can just hit V. We're going to scan for panels. Once you hit tab, you'll ping. You'll see these little unknowns pop up. We're going to look for a specific number. Basically, it needs to be an even number of 2000s, right? For example, this is 8000. So if I divide it by 2000, it will be divided perfectly. So you either want 2000, 4000, 8000, and so forth, right? So just add 2000 each time. So you can see we found an 8000 one, which means it will be the panels. It can even go up all the way to 30,000. It's the biggest one I've found. As long as it's a nice even number that you can divide by 2000, then it's probably panels. So let's get a bit closer. As you get closer, make sure to ping with tab constantly until the panels pop up. Just make sure you keep your heading. You can see it finally popped up there. A lot of little panels. Let's see what they are. As you get closer and start pinging, you'll see they get highlighted in blue. It's very difficult to keep track of them sometimes. So just choose the biggest one. You can see there's two big ones at the moment. Two slivers and then two really big ones. You can see here in the middle is one, and then here at the top is a big one. The slivers not that great, but they do fill up your cargo area as well. Now I'm just going to enter salvage mode by hitting M. Now we can start salvaging. But for the Vulture, you can toggle between your different modules since it has 4. At the moment, I have my upgrade modules equipped. If you want to switch between them, you're going to hit left alt right, and then you can hit D to only turn on your right side of the module. If you want to go back, you can hold alt again. Just hit S. Now both is active again. It's very confusing in the beginning. But at the moment, just remember that Alt-A is the left side and Alt-D is the right side. To switch between your secondary module, for example, I'm going to press Alt-A here. And let's say I want to use my gripping module to drag the panels to the other one. I'm going to do right Alt and then right click, switch between my modules. Now, if I go closer here, I can basically take this panel and drag it to the other one so I don't lose it. You'll get salvaging here in a minute. I just want to teach you the key bindings before we do anything right. There we go. I put everything together. We also have these little slivers that we can put together as well. So I'm just going to drag them together. There we go. I managed to put everything together here just so that I don't lose it, since sometimes I can get a little bit confused. Now all I want to do is hold right Alt and then right click again to go to my braid module, and then left Alt and S to activate everything. You can see on my right hand side I also have my braid selected. The braid modules are the best to select and scrape with. So now that we're finally set up, we can start scraping. I'm just going to take the big panel here. Some players like to gimbal their little salvage heads, but I usually just keep it in one direction and start salvaging. So all that you need to do to be able to salvage is just click and you should see him start salvaging. So you can also gimbal it by hitting G. You can start moving it around. The closer you are, usually the better, the melting point, and you'll start slowly but surely filling up your cargo. You can also move the beams closer together if you want to by just holding left Alt and scroll wheel, or at least that's how I bound mine. If you don't know the key bindings, you can just hit escape options, go to key bindings, advanced controls right, and head over to vehicle salvage, and here you can find all the key bindings. If you don't know something, maybe they changed something or you want to switch something up, this is perfect. You basically change it. Nothing too crazy. Once you get used to it, it will become second nature. Just the start is a little bit difficult, right? But let me salvage all of these panels and see how much I can get into my buffer. We're almost done here with the first panel. This took me about 5 minutes. And you can see we've got about 9 ECUs of recycled material. We still have the others left. I've been cycling between gimbaled and non-gimbaled. I'm going to do these as well. Here's the other panel, also done. Now for the slivers. They're definitely not that big, quite easy to salvage. Just basically run over them constantly. Super easy. They don't give a lot. It's not really worth it to like sort them out, but they do provide a little bit of salvage here and there. That couldn't fill us up quite yet, so I'm going to have to look for more. But before you go, some commenters mentioned that you should shoot these things. So I'm just going to go into SAM mode and then shoot these panels. The reason why you want to do it, other players will come across them, right? And then they might not be destroyed. So just try your best and shoot them. I really don't think it does anything really, but just for in case it does. Now we need to look for more panels. I'm just going to enter my scanning mode here by pressing V. I'm looking for more panels here. Let me see if I can find any. We found a 12,001 right here. Also a 6,001 right there. But we're going to go for the 12th one. It's 11k out. We're getting close here. You can see there's quite a bit more of them. Just because the signature was 12,000. We'll see what we can find. Seems like there's about 4 slivers and 2 really big ones. I'll probably just do the big ones since they're more convenient to do. But I'll drag them together with my tractor beam here. So I'm just going to Alt-A, select my right module, and then right Alt, right click as well. Let me drag them together here for myself. Nice big panels here, 2 of them. So super decent. I already moved them right. So let me start salvaging, and once we fill it up, I'll show you how to stack the boxes. Just Alt-S to activate both of your modules again. Now I can start salvaging. I'm almost full, so it shouldn't take long. Okay, we're finally full here. This took about 15 minutes to fill up my cargo area here. This is about 120, 110, thereabout, depending on where we sell. But we can get out of the ship here and head down. Just go forward here. And then once here, You can climb down the ladder, but I like to reverse by just holding S. You can fall down without having to enter the animation. Now here we go. We've got our tractor beam with the tractor attachment. You can see here. You can also craft one if you don't have one, but we just want to auto eject and then start ejecting. It should compress the material for us, and we can just load our cargo grid here. You can stuff this vulture quite a bit by doing a little bit of maneuvers here and there, but I'm just going to keep to the grid for today. Maybe I'll do the sides. It's quite easy to do the sides here as well, but you can stuff it in here as well if you want to optimize it. But just know your cargo will be loose and you might lose it here and there. But for now, I'll just fill up this grid here. Here you can see I filled this box here, but if you leave it, you'll eventually get an error message. Then you just need to remove this box, put it on the grid. Then here you can say continue. And it should continue your ejection. So don't worry about being too slow or too fast. You can always fix it later on. You can see here it did it again. Just say continue. Now this should be our last box. Okay, we're all good to go now. Now we can fill up the buffer as well. Lucky for us, we have a lot of panels around us still. We'll probably fill up the buffer in a couple of minutes. No need to search a little bit more since these panels are quite big. Basically fills us up. So let me continue. Seems like we managed to fill up. I'm just going to deposit some of the boxes in the cargo grid so that we can finish the complete panel here. I don't want to waste it. I'll just take these boxes, move it to the side here. Just see if I can fit it. There we go. I'm just going to leave it right here. Stack it on top. And then we'll fill up a little bit more. So I managed to fill this. I'm just going to leave this here. And then salvage the rest. Then we can go sell. So this is not a requirement if you don't want to do it. But I think it's definitely worth it. Just take what you can and then go sell, right? We're all done here with the panels. Now we can go sell. For selling, I like to go to Artisan, but you can either go to Grimhex as well, depending on how fast you want the train ride to be. But at the very moment, the elevators are quite bugged, so I'm going to go sell at Grimhex because there's a little workaround that you can do when selling so that you don't have to use the elevators. So for selling at Artisan, you'll get about 10,800 for one crate. And for selling at Grimhex, you'll get about 9,200 per crate. So there's quite a bit of a difference there. It adds up over time. But if you want to avoid bugs or you don't want to take the train ride, maybe it's worth it. In this case, it's going to be worth it for me, right? We're finally at Grimhex here. Let me quickly land in the hangar. But we're not going to take the elevator. Eventually, once we unload it, we're going to land on the pad and then run in to sell. So that's basically how we avoid the elevators. You can only do this at Grimhex at the moment. And I basically log off in my ship. All landed. I just landed this way so I can unload a bit easier. Now let's get out. You can see our cargo boxes still here, which is a very good sign. Just going to put them on the cargo elevator here. And then we'll go sell. Here is the last box that we have on the grid. There's still some in the buffer. I'll quickly need to unload those as well. You can see the buffer is still full, right? So we get a nice little income here. There's a little bit left that we can't basically use. But that's fine. We managed to fill up our cargo grid here. I'm going to send everything down. Everything is moved. Now because the elevators are really broken in this patch at the moment, I would have used that elevator, but I'm just going to go back into my ship, land on the pad here at Grimhex and then run in. So I have a ship available to get out of here. Grimhex is a little bit too busy to basically log out at. I log out anyways using my bed on my ship just to save myself some headache from using the elevators, right? That's basically how I'm surviving this patch. But let me go land on the Grimhex pad and then run in to show you how much we made. You can see there's a lot of ships here on the pad. I think they had the same idea, but we're gonna have to squeeze here. Let me just see, can I land here? Well, I definitely found a decent spot. Now we can turn off and let's head to the admin's office. I'm doing this mainly just to have a ship available for myself, right? So that I can get out of Grimhex if the elevators don't work. You can see a lot of people dead here at Grimhex, but we're just gonna take the elevator here to the main selling area. And once we have arrived, we can just head over to the admin here. Super bright at the moment. But we can just head in here. And this is the console where we can sell. Now we can select Grimhex here. You can see we've got 30 ACUs. At Grimhex, we'll make 277,000. If we were to sell this at Orison, which is the better place to sell, right? We would have made about 324,000. So definitely better to sell there. But like I said, a little bit difficult at the moment with the elevators. So I'm just going to press sell and confirm. But hope you enjoyed this salvage guide. Don't forget to check out BMI Tracker. Link is in the description. I'll also put a video on the screen where I show you exactly how to set it up and how it works. It takes about 5 minutes. And a big shout out to my YouTube memberships. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.